Welcome back to Life in the Pack on Red Wolf Radio and ASU-TV. ASU-TV, I hope you had an excellent weekend. I hope your Thanksgiving was awesome. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we're all back at school now. It's unfortunate, but A-State, you only got 1 week, and then finals, and then you're done. So you can do it. I believe in you. All right, and we'll be right here with you for the whole time. Well, Hattler might not, because you're only here for portfolio purposes.
I'm having a great time.
You may not.
I would love to come back on the show again.
Hey, we might have you back. This set looks a lot better with 3 people. It was initially just going to be me and Fielding, and you can imagine how weird this shot would look if it was just me and Fielding with all that extra space over there. So we might welcome you back, Hattler. It'd be nice to have you back on.
I like the set. It looks really good.
Yeah, Red Wolf Radio people, we're glad that you're still listening in to us. So we're not going to grill you anymore as for being the new guy, Mr. Hattler, but instead we're going to give you a present, and I'm gonna open the table up to you. What's on your mind? What's been eating away at you?
Eating away at me? I'll tell you what's eating away at me is the recent death of Stan Lee.
Yes, that is unfortunate. But the moment he died, I feel like the biggest concern out of everybody was, what are we going to do without our cameos? Which I don't know if you want that to be. You look like you want to say something. What hit you?
You can. Okay, well, they're done recording. They're done filming for the last Avengers movie, and for another movie I can't remember. So his cameo is done. He finally got his last cameo in for the last movie, for the last Avengers movie. So we got that taken care of. But it is really unfortunate because I really enjoyed first cameos. I would always wait for his cameo to pop up. Like, I wonder what's going to be this movie.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like Spider-Man: Homecoming, he was the bus driver. And that cracked me up. You've never seen an alien spaceship before? That's what he said.
Did he have 2 in Spider? Isn't there 1 in Spider-Man?
He was in the Amazing Spider-Man in the library.
He's in the library.
When they're fighting
That's
back
what
on.
I was thinking of.
Reading along, and then he was a bus driver.
The second reboot.
He was
in the
in
Spider-Man franchise.
I don't know which Spider-Man it was. I don't know if that was the one that you were saying he was in 2, but he was like hanging out the window when he was jumping around or something, and he was like talking to the old woman across.
Oh yeah.
It was like apartments.
I think that was in Homecoming.
I think that was
because the one he's bus driving is actually Infinity
War.
Oh,
that's right.
You're right. And his Homecoming one is where he's swinging around and he leans out the window and he's like, "You darn kids," or whatever, and then he yells at that other woman. Yeah. So, 2 sides of the same coin, really.
Either way.
And then he was in the Tobey Maguire one, where he comes up next to him and says, I guess one person can really make a difference," and he walks away. And
But it'll be unfortunate to lose him, and it's just, I don't know, man.
I would love to see a documentary movie of Stan Lee. I wonder who would play him, but because he had a very interesting life.
Yeah,
95 years. That's a long time for someone to be alive.
Go ahead and finish here.
When he was younger, when he was like, I think 16, he was writing obituaries for his family business for whatever job he had at the time.
Yeah,
he was writing obituaries in the newspaper, and then he went off to war. And he was writing instructional videos for the soldiers, and then he came back and he was writing for Marvel, making all these superheroes.
Yeah.
But just an incredible life. Because at the time, DC Comics was the powerhouse, was the comic at the time, and
DC
it was
came
like
around first. You had Superman,
Batman, like these perfect superheroes that had no weaknesses except kryptonite. And then Stan Lee's writing these more down to earth.
Yeah.
People like Spider-Man.
That's kind of been the trend. Is because I know a lot of people point out like DC has these like otherworldly superhero. Like you have Wonder Woman's Amazon, Superman, Alien, whatever. You had Martian Manhunter, who was a Martian, and Green Lantern, which was another Space Force. And so a lot of their characters, aside from Batman, which may attribute to why Batman is like their most popular, seems to be because he's the human of the group. But and then Marvel came along, and Stan Lee wrote a lot more of people. They oftentimes had stuff happen to them,
more
but they
relatable.
were people to start with, and so I think that attributed a lot to Marvel's success, especially maybe nowadays where you're trying to speak to a generation that's like, these guys are just people. Maybe they're a little special, but they're just people, so it can happen. But he will be missed, and thankfully I think at least his cinematic universe, I haven't read a lot of like the new Marvel comic stuff that comes out, like the actual comic. But his cinematic universe seems to be in good hands with, what's his name? Kevin Feige? Is he the one in charge? I think he's the one in charge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. So he's been doing a good job with it. So hopefully his characters will live on. And this last little push in the movies, I think, just like cemented like superhero characters for this generation.
Yeah, they can't do any more cameos though. They can't replace Stan Lee like that.
If they try to CG him in there, I will be mad.
Like they did with Star Wars, the whatever his name was.
Yoda?
No, it was one of the most recent one. He was like the admiral of the Imperial fleet, and they CGI'd him in
Rogue One with Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yeah.
And then they also did the CG Princess Leia.
Oh yeah, Tarkin looked terrible.
yeah.
Now that I remember that.
See, you could tell he was fake, but it was, to be honest, the improvement of CGI characters throughout the years has been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's better, but you could tell that he was like
and see,
almost plastic.
It's not perfect.
I know that it got a lot of hate for whatever it was, and just like, why would you do this? Why would you ever? When I saw that in theaters, and I was with my dad when we saw it, and I heard my dad say out loud, "Oh my Lord, it's Peter Cushing," I think was his actor's name.
Cushing.
Something like that. He said, he actually, he looked at that and he goes, "That's that actor. Oh my Lord." And so that may just because original Star Wars came out when he was in high school, and so he has seen the thing of technology, and we've kind of been brushed in with expecting good special effects, more or less.
Unfortunately.
I was really amazed with that. And I think the reason most people didn't like it was because it's kind of like that thing with like a lot of when they try to make the robot face technology. It's really good, but it's just that little bit short where our brains see that and we go, "That's awkward.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I know it's not human." And I feel like that's what got it, is it's really, really, really close, but it's missing that last little bit where people are like, man.
It's not impossible, but it is extremely hard to make something seem so real because the slightest, thing that's off can just ruin it.
Well, and especially a face like his with wrinkles, like Princess Leia with like smooth young Princess Leia. I'm sure that was a little bit easier and was still probably immensely difficult. But I imagine trying to do Tarkin's face with all the wrinkles and features and stuff was crazy hard.
Well, they found an actor that looked a lot like him.
Yeah.
He put on the morph suit, put all the little orbs,
Dots on
everything. And they did the best they could, but I'm sure they've already made improvements now.
Yeah.
As opposed to that. It's just
No
incredible.
kidding. Well, and then they CGI'd Yoda into Last Jedi, which happened. And initially, I will point out that when Yoda came on screen, I had your reaction to it. I was like, okay, something's wrong with that.
Yeah.
And then as I either my eyes got accustomed to seeing this little green CGI character that looked better than the episode 1, 2, and 3 CGI character. I just got used to seeing him, and I was like, you know what? That's a pretty good CGI Yoda right there. Or it just got darker in the lighting or whatnot. But I'm really impressed with how far technology. It blows me away how
Really
far
does.
technology. And then I think that only adds to how good films like Quiet Place and Get Out and some of those films that don't use any of it. I feel like it adds some to those, because then you look at that and you think, this doesn't have near the budget, near the special effects of these movies I'm going to see, and it's just as good, if not better.
I have so much respect for movies like that because
Oh,
you
yeah.
have movies that are just purely special effects like San Andreas or Transformers, which
The
I
Rock
respect that
movie.
movie. Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Michael Bay movie.
Just all visuals. But The Quiet Place, it was sound.
Oh, yeah.
The Foley artist in that movie had a blast because they're like, do whatever you want, basically.
Yeah.
And I saw behind the scenes, they were in this big room. They would have sand laid out everywhere and like
Oh, yeah.
shoes just
Foley rooms
pushing.
are awesome.
I would love to
Play
be a
in the
Foley
mills.
artist. That would be really cool. But just that movie. I mean, sitting in the theater was odd. I'm eating a bag of Skittles, and every time I move, it's like, and I'm like,
You were that guy.
I would wait for something to happen so I
It's
could be
supposed
like,
to be
all right,
quiet.
pour it in my hand so I can eat them all, and then
I
without
do
making
that
a
with
noise.
Sour Patch Kids. I've gotten better because initially I'd get Sour Patch Kids and they were in a box, but then in the plastic wrapping, and so you
Yeah.
try to get one out and you just be making a crap
so
ton of
loud.
noise. And so I've started to go in there, welcome to Screen Vision, whatever, and I just open the pack real loud, pour them all into the box, and then I can just pull them out of the box without that plastic wrapping.
There was a very intense scene happening, and I had to cough, and I was like, I don't wanna- and then something happened. I was like dying over there
You
on
will
the side.
literally die if you cough during this scene.
I hated
Isn't
it.
that the premise of the movie? You know, you can't make noise.
But I loved it because it was different. I've
Yeah.
never seen something like before. And John Krasinski, coming from the
The
innocent,
Office.
likable character to this just gruff, bearded, just
Hardcore.
like fatherly figure of the movie.
Well,
and
and
that was
Chris Pratt was like almost his predecessor to it, because Chris Pratt, Parks and Rec, essentially the same character almost as Jim, maybe a little more comedic stupidity. But he came from that and kind of having this like dad bod, quote unquote, like just being this guy to, I'm Star-Lord, man. Haven't you heard of me? And now he's just absolutely ripped. Every girl is like, Chris Pratt, you're my hubby. I follow him on Instagram, and that dude is hardcore.
he's hilarious.
Oh,
he
yeah.
is just man. But you can
He's yoked up.
If he's Parks and Rec, have you seen that show?
Yeah, a little
Okay,
bit.
you can see the difference of him being, Chris Pratt, and then all of a sudden, or excuse me, being Andy.
Yeah.
And then he had to train for the movie, Guardians of the Galaxy. He comes back and he's like, "You're ripped. Like, where have you been?"
Oh
and he
my
said,
goodness,
"Oh, I just
yeah.
quit drinking beer." I lost it when he said that in the show. I was like, "Oh man, I never realized how fat beer makes you. I just quit drinking beer." And then he just this ripped guy. I was like,
Well, now
it was hilarious.
Just to keep talking about alcohol in this academic show, he's in those Michelob commercials now.
Those are good.
Where he
Those
has
are really
the
good.
little finger weight and he's practicing his tilt with the thing with the finger weight.
Yeah.
He is just a character, and he's a good dude. Like, did you see his acceptance speech at like the VMAs or like
I did not.
some award show? He gave a really nice acceptance speech. He's just a really good dude overall, and I really like watching him and stuff. And he didn't go out in the snap, did he? Did he go out in the snap? I can't remember.
I don't.
Oh no!
Oh, you're talking about the
No,
our
no.
sound,
Oh,
our
It wasn't
sound
him.
guy is saying that he went out in the snap.
Did he?
I can't remember.
I think
The
he
only
did.
people that I can
Oh,
remember from
no.
Guardians is Groot disappearing.
Oh,
Groot,
no, Groot.
Rocket stayed.
Yeah, Rocket stayed.
Yeah.
Drax did not. The Antenna Girl did not. Mantis didn't.
Aurora, what's the girl's name? That he threw over the cliff.
Gamora.
Yeah, she's dead anyway.
Rest in peace, Gamora. Some part of me
Is it like,
says I want her
is
back. but
anyone dead? Is anyone really dead?
somebody's gonna die. Like there's gonna
Somebody's
be an
gotta be,
end.
right?
Yeah, there's
That's
got to be. I don't
seriously.
want to know who. I want to be surprised.
Well,
Yeah.
of course.
It's gonna be the end of.
Did y'all see Ant-Man?
Yes.
Ant-Man and the
And
Wasp?
stayed at Ant-Man and the Wasp. And
Yes.
stayed after.
Yeah, the after. I was
That
thinking
was the reason
about
why I
getting
saw
to
it.
that. You saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
That was the reason why I saw it.
So
I
when's
want to
the
know
after-credit
what his
scene?
connection was. Yeah.
And now
He's trapped
he's
in
stuck
the
in the
molecular
quantum-
realm.
I
Yeah,
have no
whatever.
idea like how they're gonna pull him out of there. But
Okay, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, I get that that's supposed to be their fun series that they just have fun with because it's Ant-Man, but I was totally invested in that movie until the end, and that quantum whatever was just like, hey, let me solve your problems, Ghost. Hands on the temple. Oh, look, she's stabilized now. She doesn't have to do anything. Quantum healing power or
that was
whatever.
the best idea they had. I was like, come on.
Almost like I'm kind of been like, everyone hates DC because DC is serious, dark, just kind of whatever. But I feel like Marvel needs to dip their toes into that a little bit. And Ant-Man and the Wasp, can you imagine if they would have done that movie, gone to the end, and there was like actually that choice between Hank Pym's wife and Ghost of like, do we bring the one that we like and the character that everyone wants to see back and save her, even though she's like old and whatever, or do we save this girl who could possibly be like this anti-hero, dark, weird story for Marvel to work with, but instead Marvel's just like, hey, we're gonna have them both. That quantum realm has this cool healing stuff that they can do,
Yeah, no kidding.
and it's pretty awesome.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Well, I guess they can do whatever they want now. But other than that, Ant-Man and the Wasp was a truly funny movie.
You were saying earlier that DC should try to be like Marvel. DC has been historically dark,
Yeah.
and what Marvel was doing at the first few movies that Marvel was doing were pretty serious. They had some jokes in there, pretty serious. But then as soon as the Avengers came out, it's like they crack a joke. Like Civil War,
Yeah.
the airport scene, it was like punch, punch, punchline, punch, punch, punchline. I was like,
Yeah.
Well,
just
and, like,
fight.
Fieldings, you have something you want to say? We've gone
Yeah,
a
go
while
ahead, yeah.
without
I
hearing.
wanna hear
No,
your
it's
feelings.
fine.
Come on, Fielding.
I
Get
mean,
in here.
when
You're
y'all
the
talk,
new Robert, get in here.
When y'all were talking about Stan Lee, I was like, y'all were talking about CGI, and I was like, well, what if they just have a whole bunch of clips of him backed up?
They've
Pre-recorded.
just
Yeah,
filmed
they have
a ton of
pre-recorded
these.
Stan Lee.
Well, they
See,
had the movies planned out to like 2024 or whatever.
and this is why I'm letting y'all talk, because this is like, pre-recorded Stan Lee clips. And
Nice.
y'all are getting really in depth and
Well, I
everything.
think-
y'all just know more about the subject.
What
just
hurts
passionate
you,
about it.
I think, is obviously exercise science major. Me and Nathan
Yeah, y'all
are
know
both
what- y'all know what y'all are
narrative
doing.
media majors, right? You're narrative.
Credit,
correct?
yeah. Well, sports production, but close enough.
Are you, I thought you were narrative.
Creative media production with emphasis on sports media.
Really?
I switched. I was that, but I switched.
Okay, so that's why. And so I was just thinking, I was like, man, this is why we're taking off, because this was what we were doing, and this is just
No,
what
y'all
we
are
kinda
good.
do.
Y'all are good. Y'all are naming off like directors left and right, and I'm like, that's why
He's
I'm
on
my
IMDb.
phone. I'm
Cruising.
googling
You're
people.
fact checking us. Make
Yeah,
sure we're
yeah,
Yeah, you
accurate,
can scoot this in front and be your phone.
Yeah, that's it.
No, and yeah, because back to what you were saying, like DC always being dark, and Marvel did start out that, and you can like see Marvel's process of evolution in their films they made, because the original Spider-Man, I still lump the original Hulk in with that old thing, because it's kind of when it came out. I wish they would have rebooted it, and done whatever they're gonna do. But I guess they won't unless they ever want to do like a Planet of the Hulk or Hulk Planet. What do they call that comic series?
I can't remember.
Whatever it
Hulk
is, that
World
whole
or something?
Planet of Hulks or whatever that is. But
They rebooted Spider-Man 3 times.
oh yeah.
I loved all of them, but
Well, it's because Sony had the rights to them, and so I feel like
That's
Sony
right.
was
I
like,
forgot about
Give us
that."
that last chance to prove that we can, and then they're, oh, we can't match you. Just
because they made
half
Sony.
and half it with us.
Sony made Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Sony.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man was Sony's last go at it.
That makes sense.
And I feel like Amazing Spider-Man could have been good. I feel like the second Amazing Spider-Man, they just kind of lost a little bit, enough direction where they were finally like, all right, Marvel, take it. We'll go half with you. Just kind of let us know before you do anything crazy with him. And
I felt like I was watching a dubstep music video for the second Amazing Spider-Man.
I
Because
didn't
the
actually
electric
see
guy,
it,
every
man.
time he came
Yeah.
on, it was like boom, 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 boom. I was like
well, yeah.
overwhelmed by
With all the like electric buzz, it's like, oh, it'll sound natural. The bass will be going. They'll love it. And
It was
like,
cool, but it was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I was disappointed. They end that movie with him slinging that plate at Rhino, and Rhino has historically been one of my like favorite Spider-Man villains. I was like, well, never see this again.
It was very quick.
I know.
Here's Rhino.
Kept
Okay,
up.
gone.
And that was the thing they opened with in their trailers. Like they had that scene in their trailers for that movie, and then it's the end credit. You don't even see the fight.
I hate trailers. They give away everything.
They do now. They didn't
And they're
used
misleading.
to. They didn't used to. I remember, even in my short lifetime, that there was a time when trailers were merely just, here's a little up, here's a little nope, and then they ended.
I
But
think
now
that's
everyone's
so
like,
much
hey,
better.
Come on.
I think it's so much better because if they give a little bit, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like I want to go see this now because I want to know what's gonna happen. But now they're
Yeah.
like, here's the whole entire movie in 2 minutes.
When I feel like that's hit comedies harder, because a lot of comedy movies will put their funniest jokes
Mm-hmm.
in the trailer because they want to hook you in to go see the movie. And then you've already seen the funny jokes, and so everything else just kind of falls
Yep.
short. There's like a couple gems in there where you're like, oh, that was good, but all the funny jokes were in the trailers, and so you're just waiting. It's like, oh, that was in the trailer. That's still funny, but other than that, it just hurts.
For me, when I go to the comedy stuff, if I see the joke on TV and I go to the movie, like I'm not phased because I've heard it and I'm like I'm tired of it now because I've heard it 7 or 8 times.
Yeah.
It's like it was funny the first time I saw the trailer, but now I just saw it in theaters and I hate that joke now. So
It's my least favorite.
I will never hear
joke.
that joke again. I'll
Yeah.
never say it.
I'm
not
no.
kidding.
Least favorite joke.
Jeez. Man, and you know, the two genres we've been talking about the most was like mainly action with the superhero, and then we just got into comedy. And Kevin Hart and Dwayne The Rock Johnson have both just like absolutely shoved themselves into those genres. I feel like nothing against the guys because they're by far not the worst movies on the market, but it seems like every comedy that comes out, Kevin Hart is in it. And then and Dwayne The Rock Johnson has just launched this absolute campaign of action movies that have come out.
Every Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie has something to do with the world ending and him flying a helicopter.
Well, the last one didn't. The last one was a skyscraper.
I didn't see that
Oh,
one because that
come
one looked so
on.
terrible. It just looked awful.
Oh, and I think what hurt it was the internet. They released that poster for it, and movies should just be so much more careful before they put anything on the internet because they released their big, look at Dwayne The Rock Johnson jumping from this crane to
Like
this
50
window.
feet jump.
Yeah, with
Oh yeah,
one
and
arm.
then the internet
Yeah.
said, okay, if we
The arrows.
calculate the distance between this jump using his height and this, he's not making it. He's hitting that wall right
He's
there.
not gonna make it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so do some research, movies. Put them in the right spot. You know, just do something so the internet can't make fun of you.
I don't know.
I got
Stop. No, you got it. No,
I got a
Fight
soft
it.
spot for Dwayne Johnson. He cracks me up. He's like him and Kevin Hart are like
Yeah.
yin and yang.
Oh,
They
yeah.
are balanced. Like one is this tall giant, one's this super small.
Like that CIA. I think the last movie they did together was that CIA, Central Intelligence movie
yeah,
or whatever.
CI.
Yeah.
they're really good together.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
They appeal to my sense of humor.
They should just do all of their movies together.
Yeah.
Because
I
when
would watch
Dwayne The
them.
Rock Johnson tries to do an action movie, it's like watching all the sequels to Die Hard.
It's
again.
expected. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all the action movie tropes.
But then when you throw this little
together.
shorty in there, it's
like
like
Skyscraper was literally Die Hard in 2020, basically.
I wouldn't have watched it if The Rock wasn't in it.
Nice. I didn't watch it even with The Rock in it. And like all the movies with Kevin Hart in them that are comedies, I don't really like Kevin Hart's comedy and so I just don't feel motivated to go see his comedy movies.
Mm-hmm.
But like when they're together, they actually that's that really cool balance of comedy and then the action you can pull off with Dwayne the Rock Johnson. And he flies a helicopter in CA.
And
Understandable.
a
And
bunch
he
of
does.
helicopters. He's always in a helicopter, and he's
Can he actually fly a helicopter?
probably he's breaking every single aviation law too.
Really?
Whether or not he's
Have you
working.
have you checked him?
No, I've seen like YouTube videos of people going
okay.
like, "This you cannot do. This is not
The
possible
world is
with a helicopter."
ending, Fielding. He
Yeah.
has to.
He can save multiple
He
people.
flew a helicopter in Jumanji, didn't he?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
do you?
I still haven't seen it. I really want to.
I don't-
Jumanji's good.
I heard a lot of people say it was good, but I just was like,
Jack Black makes that movie.
no.
to me.
I imagine he does.
I love
Jack
Jack
Black makes
Black.
it really good.
Nacho Libre will be my favorite movie. by him.
Did y'all see Logan Lucky?
You've brought up Logan Lucky on.
It's
on here before.
honestly, I love this movie. It's so dumb that it's perfect. Country Roads, Country
Yeah,
Roads.
Country Roads.
Yeah.
That's like the main song all through the movie.
Nice.
All
It's
through the movie.
itself.
Perfect timing to for that movie to come out.
Oh, how did that song have such a rebirth?
Fallout
Well,
76.
yeah, but I feel like it even was catching steam before Fallout 76.
I think so. It's always been a good song.
Oh, yeah, I've enjoyed it.
But as soon as Fallout came out, it's like every
put it
person
in it.
ever is just fell in love with that song. Even guys that aren't fans of country.
Seriously, and when it's really a country song.
West Virginia.
It's so
The way he sings
different.
it. What genre would you claim
Oh,
it?
it's so different from modern country now. My version
It's
of
because
country
modern
is
country
just,
is like rock with the southern twang.
Don't even call it rock. It's not even rock. It's pop.
They're
with a
trying to.
southern twang.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean rock. I meant pop. I
It's
meant pop.
alternative country, okay? I'm
It's
taking an
pop
online
country.
jazz class. So
It's
I know.
alternative country.
Alternative
online
country.
jazz.
Oh,
my
jazz.
bad.
Jazz.
You like jazz?
Duke Silverton over here just giving away his techniques about
Yeah, who's
jazz.
your favorite jazz musician, man?
I don't know. We actually haven't talked about a lot in jazz in this class. Duke Silverton.
Or silver something.
Silverton
Something, you know,
Duke.
the silver tongue.
I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I don't listen to jazz.
It's Ron Swanson's alias for in Parks and Rec. Remember, he's the jazz player. His name
See,
I'm
you're
Duke
gonna lose
Silverton.
me on Parks and Rec because I have very limited knowledge on Parks and Rec.
I envy
Because
you.
mockumentary is one of my least favorite styles of making anything. But though the fact that I have watched as much as The Office and Parks and Rec as I have speaks to how good those shows are. Because I hate mockumentaries.
So then, have you seen The
Uh-oh.
Last Unfriended?
No, and I refuse to see that
Okay.
disaster of a movie.
Yeah, it's a disaster, but there's two endings, and that's the only cool thing about it.
What do you mean?
How
There's
do
two
you-
endings.
Do you choose
told
when
you
you're
this.
watching it? Like
No,
press A to go this way,
no,
press B to go that way?
you don't know. You don't know. Apparently, because I looked up on YouTube, obviously after I went to see the other ending was lame, but I got the cool ending, so I was excited
Okay, cool.
because like there's two ways.
He's
Obviously,
intrigued.
yeah.
Stay true to your
You know,
values.
you know the premise where it's like they're all on.
Yeah,
they're all on
Skype.
On
Skype or
Skype,
whatever,
and
yeah.
then
and then
like
Dead Girl's there.
no, that's
Ghost
the
Girl?
old one. That's the first one. That's
made
the
a
first
new
one. Yeah, Unfriended 2, the one with two endings. Zach, we
You told me
talked
they
about
made
this.
enough money at the first movie that they could
Yeah.
make a second one.
Yeah.
I am only aware of the first Unfriended.
No,
I
it's the second one. But this one is like this dude steals a laptop and it's some hacker's laptop or it's some like trafficker's laptop and they make videos and they send them to people.
is it
What?
what's the word? It's like not normal, not human. Like it's
No,
supernatural.
no.
Is it supernatural?
No. It's an actual person.
$25,000 pyramid over here. Not human.
Yeah.
Not natural.
So-
Spiritual.
supernatural.
Supernatural.
No, it's not supernatural.
Things that are supernatural.
Because the first one was, which was really weird, why they went from supernatural to like a hacker group.
Hacker man.
So like they took the guy's laptop and he hacks into someone's Facebook, because the dude who stole the laptop is going through this guy's Facebook. So the original guy who had his laptop, the owner of the laptop.
We've been spending a lot of time on this laptop.
This
here.
laptop's very important. The
Okay.
owner of this laptop messages himself on Facebook, and the guy that stole the laptop sees the message and is like, "No, I just bought this on Craigslist," and he knows that he didn't. So it goes through all this, and of course, everyone gets killed somehow.
Oh, of course.
And at the end, he goes, and that's when you get the two endings. So
How do you do two endings in a movie, though? Like, did
That's
some
happened
theater
before.
group just get an ending?
No,
And then a
yeah,
different
yeah.
theater group got a different
there's
ending?
side A and there's side B of the
It's
tape.
not a record.
Oh.
Of the tape.
The theater just did that with Frankenstein. It had
What?
Benedict Cumberbatch. It had him and another guy playing. It was like a recorded theater play at the Malco. Like it was recorded somewhere else. They brought it over. It was like on a disc, but there were two sides to it. They either Benedict Cumberbatch was Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster. Luckily, we got he was a monster. And he did a fabulous job. But now I get what you're saying. Like it could have been either or. We got
for a guy that can't say penguin, he does a lot of really good voices because he's the voice of Smaug in the Hobbit movies. He's doing the Grinch now.
That's him?
Yeah.
The new Grinch.
Yeah, he's the Grinch.
Huh.
He's Doctor Strange.
And Ryan Reynolds was Pikachu. Man, what's this world coming to?
Dude, that's the movie trailer I couldn't think of. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you said that.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard about it. I'm seeing it when this is over.
Honestly, the first thing I thought when I saw the trailer was Pikachu's fuzzy. And I was like, of course he's fuzzy. And that was my first thought seeing that because I was not prepared to see a hyper realistic Pikachu.
One of three things went across Ryan Reynolds' mind when he was offered this job. One, I loved Pikachu because I loved Pokemon growing up. So I'm gonna play up my childhood.
And you know
character.
this personally. You know Ryan personally to know that he loves
course,
Pokemon.
yeah. He was my roommate back in junior high. Yeah. So
roommate in junior high.
Roommate in junior high.
We had a cool life.
Dope.
No, either it was his childhood hero or childhood character. Two, the script was really freaking good, so he's like, "This is hilarious. I'm gonna do it." Or three, money.
I think there's a fourth option that you forgot to mention with Ryan Reynolds, which is
doing it for his kid.
Wait, we're not doing another Deadpool movie right now. Do I have anything else on the schedule? Heck, why the heck not? I'll voice Pikachu.
Because he played Green Lantern, which
I don't even think Ryan Reynolds wants you to bring that up.
I know he doesn't. He even made fun of it in the Deadpool movie.
Yeah,
it was
funny.
But
That was
Deadpool
really
redeemed him.
Yeah,
which was fantastic.
He's such a good actor. And Hitman's Bodyguard, did you see that with him and Samuel L. Jackson?
No, but I want to.
Oh my
god, it's on my to-do list. It's very high up on my to-do list.
It's a good movie, and I don't even know why I keep a timer on my phone here because we've gone past whatever. I mean, I was looking at it and I was like,
we can wrap it up on Pikachu.
Yeah, we can wrap it up on Pikachu. We can wrap it up. Thank you for watching today's episode of Life in the Pack. We hope you enjoyed it. There will be new episodes coming out twice a week on ASU-TV, or you can tune into Red Wolf Radio to catch the full hour show at 8 p.m. Central Time on Fridays. You can also follow us on Twitter at Life in the Pack 1. That is Life in the Pack number 1. And you can send us all sorts of things we should talk about on the show or questions that you want answered on the show, and we'll try to get to them the best we can. We hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned to ASU-TV for more content.
Boom!
That's how it's done.